Timo Werner coming off, Hudson-Odoi coming on. What's going on with Werner?
Not playing well. He said it himself. The player has said, I'm finding the Premier League a lot tougher than I thought. It's tougher to play in the Premier League than the Bundesliga. His words, not mine, before anybody goes off crying about it. And so he is having a tough time after a bright start. And maybe he's finding it different technically or tactically or physically. But whatever it is, and I read somewhere that Lampard is trying to build his confidence up, well, that's fine. But Chelsea, as we speak, are 6th in the Premier League. They could be further down than that in 24 hours' time. This pressurised situations, Dan, goes from Mikel Arteta to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to Chris Wilder to all these other managers in the league. It swirls around and changes within a daily basis. It's now swung all the way around in Frank Lampard's direction. He's got a huge game against Villa coming up. Then I think it's City he's got as well. He said he's going to make changes. He'll have to make changes. Frank's right. Hudson-Odoi come on. At least he was taking people on. He was going one-on-one. He was getting crosses in. I believe Hakim Ziyech is going to be available around about the game on the 28th. Whether or not he's match fit or not, I don't know. But they miss him like nobody's business because they've got the pace of Werner and Pulisic. But he just gives them something different. He's got an industry. He's got a guile. He's got a great pass. And they've really missed that. And so this sort of two wide guys and one big man through the middle that we thought and Lampard thought was going to be the ingredient that worked for him, all of a sudden it's not. And so it's back to the drawing board for them. But yeah, he's got players out of form. He's got players who are not fully fit. And that's a problem. They have gone from looking one of the paciest, quickest sides in the Premier League to one of the most pedestrian. And that is a huge issue for him because you may have noticed with this owner, Roman Abramovich, he doesn't suffer inconsistency, bad results, no matter who it is. So let me be clear. Lampard is back on the chopping block currently as we speak.
Publicly coming out, Craig, and calling them lazy, does that help the situation?
Well, look, as a player, you've got to be big enough. I don't know if it helps or not, but listen, if you're going home blubbering to your family because Frank Lampard has insinuated that you might have been one of the lazy ones, you shouldn't be playing the game, right? These players will go back to their homes tonight or to the hotel, whatever it is they do, and they can reflect on the way that they've played recently, not just this game. Not just this game, Dan. The way they played recently, did not play well against West Ham, but got a win. Did not play well at Wolves, did not play well at Everton. So they can reflect on that. They can also reflect on an Aston Villa side. They've got a heck of a threat going forward with Grealish in particular and Ollie Watkins, who will not give the back four a minute's peace. So it's turn-up time for Lampard and these players because this cut and thrust period can make and break you. And I'm not suggesting Abramovich is going to sack him in the next couple of weeks. But there's one thing that they need to remember, top four, right? If they don't get in the top four, he's probably done. So it's a big season for him that looked as if it was going swimmingly. And now it looks as if they're sinking a little bit with a weight around their feet. And he's got to have to find the reason to put it right.
Shaka, you mentioned 48 hours. What realistically can he do within that time span to sort this team out? Because they were horrible today.
Yeah, they were simply horrible. And in all honesty, I'm not sure what you do. Right now, the focus is on getting players rested, try to get them recovered to come up against a Villa team who are playing well and full of confidence, especially after that win against Crystal Palace with just 10 men. You sit down, you review the tape, you point out mistakes that were made tactically and some of the players, if you're prepared to go on record and call players lazy without naming them, you then have to sit in a room with the entire team and point out who was being lazy and where. And challenge the players to address that, to fix that themselves. As Craig says, they're big boys, and that's what they have to do. My only criticism is when you start naming players publicly, I think it all comes apart. If you make this a group thing, then they better fix it. We've all been there. We've all had to deal with that kind of group criticism. We see what Chelsea can do now because this is a pressure like they do not know, particularly under Frank Lampard, where they were given pretty much a free pass all of last season.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.